Chosen one, listen closely. Your presence here is no accident, and it is far more than chance. Every step that brought you to this moment has been guided by the hand of God. The Holy Spirit has drawn you here because you are standing at the threshold of a life-changing breakthrough. What you are about to receive is not merely encouragement. It is a prophetic reminder that the season of scarcity is coming to an end, and a season of divine increase has already begun. Scripture reminds us in Deuteronomy 8:18 that the Lord is the one who gives the ability to create wealth so that his covenant may be fulfilled. That promise is not distant or forgotten. It is alive and active over your life today. Every hardship you have endured, every battle you fought in silence, and every tear no one else witnessed has served a greater purpose. None of it was meaningless. God has been preparing your heart for the blessings He is now ready to release. This moment has been arranged by heaven itself. It is not random, and it is not ordinary. The windows of heaven are opening, and God is directing favor, provision, and unexpected opportunities toward you. If you have been praying for confirmation, consider this your answer. Lift your eyes with expectation and believe that what once seemed impossible is now within God's reach. The dry season is fading away. New doors are unlocking before you. The divine transfer has already begun to unfold. You were chosen for this hour, and your destiny is beginning to rise. Step forward with unwavering faith, knowing that God has gone ahead of you. Chosen one. Take a moment to quiet your heart and receive what heaven is speaking. This is more than a message. It is a divine encounter prepared specifically for you. If you sense your spirit awakening as these words reach you, do not dismiss it. God has appointed this very moment for a reason. Respond in faith instead of hesitation. As an expression of your belief, type the number 99 inches, the comments. The number is a reminder of the shepherd who leaves the 99 to seek the one who is precious to him. Today, you are that one. You are called, set apart, and deeply loved by God. What you are about to hear is not simply another message. It is a series of prophetic signs revealing how God places certain people in your life, not merely for temporary comfort, but to help fulfill the purpose and destiny He has prepared for you. This is not about fleeting chemistry or shallow attraction. This is about alignment with eternal purpose. If you have ever wondered why a bond will not die, why their name returns in your prayers, or why silence feels heavy with unfinished pages, it is because the story is not finished. Sign 1. Repeated encounters are not random. You may have convinced yourself it is over. You told your heart, I am free. I am moving on. Yet somehow, when you least expect it, their presence reappears. A random scroll and their face stares back. A dream jolts you awake with their name. A chance meeting happens in a place you never planned. These are not glitches. They are divine fingerprints. I know this because I walked through it. There was a time I thought God had closed the book. I tried to bury every feeling, to silence every memory. Yet, just when I thought it was over, reminders came through unexpected conversations, sudden encounters, quiet whispers in prayer. At first, I brushed it off as coincidence. But over time, I saw the truth. Heaven was speaking in patterns. God does not always shout. More often He whispers through timing, through subtle choreography that feels ordinary but strikes your spirit. That is why life seems to keep pulling you back. Not because you are weak, but because purpose never expires. Purpose waits until the appointed hour. Understand this. Divine connections are rarely convenient. They hide inside awkward moments and unusual timings. You meet when you least expect in places that seem unimportant. Yet in the unseen, these are checkpoints from heaven. Each one is a reminder that the assignment still lives. Separation becomes training. Silence sharpen, patience. Delay builds strength. And when heaven says now, the paths will align with precision. Have you noticed how even the smallest interaction feels weighty? A simple hello carries echoes you cannot explain. A glance feels charged with recognition. Even silence speaks like a secret language of the spirit. This is not nostalgia. It is heaven's reminder that something is unfinished. But here is the warning. Chosen one. Not every intense pull is divine. Discernment is your safeguard. When it is God, the encounter does not leave you confused. Even if questions remain, peace lingers. A whisper rises within. There is more. That is why this message found you. These encounters are not interruptions. They are invitations. Prophetic rehearsals for what heaven is preparing. And when God is about to release something, the signals always intensify. Expect the unexpected. Prepare your spirit. Stay awake. Chosen one. This was never random. And in the next sign, you will see how their very presence awakens your calling. Chosen one. Now we go deeper. You have seen how repeated encounters are not random. But let me unveil the second prophetic marker. Sign 2. Their presence awakens your spirit. This is not about butterflies. This is not about shallow emotion. This is about ignition. Soul fire that sparks without effort. There are people who make you feel wanted. People who entertain. People who distract. But then there are rare souls whose very presence shifts the atmosphere. When they enter the room, you think clearer. Your prayers grow bolder. Your heart, once scattered, suddenly aligns with heaven's blueprint. Chosen one. That is not emotional dependency. That is spiritual activation. I know this truth in my own life. Years ago, I met someone whose words were few, yet every moment near them sharpened me. My prayer life deepened. Dreams I had buried began to breathe again. It wasn't charm. It wasn't attraction. It was alignment. Their presence was a mirror reflecting back the version of myself God had always seen. I realized then some connections are less about comfort and more about calling. Understand this. God doesn't send everyone to soothe you. Some he sends to wake you up, to remind you of promises you've silenced, to reignite visions you thought were gone. They don't have to preach a sermon. They don't even have to say much at all. Their very energy disrupts stagnation and pulls the warrior, the intercessor, the visionary back to the surface. Chosen one. Have you felt it around them? You remember who you are. Not the version shaped by trauma. Not the version defined by others. But the one heaven whispered into existence before you were born. That is kingdom alignment. This isn't just chemistry, because chemistry fades. This is covenant. When heaven forges a connection, it is designed to outlast feelings and to propel you into destiny. And here's the mystery. This activation is not one-sided. When God aligns two souls, both are elevated. You experience divine synergy like two flames that burn brighter together. Your prayers feel heavier, your dreams gain momentum, your faith expands. This is not dependency. This is interdependence designed for kingdom impact. But be warned, such a connection will not always feel safe emotionally. Sometimes their presence will challenge you, not through harsh words, but by carrying such clarity of purpose that you feel convicted to rise higher. It can be uncomfortable, yet it is sacred, for it is in discomfort that God does his greatest work. Think about it. The right person will not lull you into apathy. They will stir you out of complacency. They will remind you of prayers you stopped praying, of promises you thought were lost. That is how you know it is a God-ordained bond, even in silence, even without touch. Their presence sharpens your focus on him. You feel enlarged, not diminished. And maybe this is why the enemy fought so fiercely to separate you. Because hell knows what happens when two chosen ones stand side by side, aligned in purpose, together. They become unstoppable. Chosen one. This isn't emotion. It's frequency. It's heaven's signal calling you higher. This is only the beginning. In the next sign, you will see why even silence, distance, and time cannot break what was written in heaven before you were born. Chosen one. Open your heart wide, because what I am about to share will shift the way you see everything. Sign 3. The bond survives time, silence, and distance. Most human connections are fragile. They wither when there is no constant communication. They crumble after a misunderstanding. They fade when distance stretches too far. But when God is the author, the bond does not break. It matures. It deepens. It survives what should have destroyed it. I know this in my own life. There were seasons where months passed with no word spoken, where miles stretched between me and someone heaven had linked me to. Logically, it should have dissolved. By every natural measure, the connection should have disappeared. But then, out of nowhere, a memory resurfaced. A dream disrupted my night, or an unexpected message arrived. It wasn't nostalgia. It wasn't weakness. It was spirit, recognizing spirit. Chosen one. When God forges a bond, time does not diminish it. Silence does not kill it. Distance cannot erase it. Instead, those very factors become tools of refinement. God allows separation to strengthen patience. He allows silence to sharpen discernment. He allows distance to prove that purpose is not dependent on proximity. Think of it this way. Fragile ties need constant validation. Texts, reassurances, daily proof. But divine connections are sustained in the unseen. Even without constant interaction, the tether remains. Your spirits stay in dialogue. Even when your mouths do not. Your assignments intertwine in the spirit, even when your paths diverge on earth. That is why, chosen one, you feel the pulse of that bond even after years apart. This is not obsession. This is prophetic endurance. God is training you to recognize resilience. When the world says it's over, the Spirit whispers, "Not yet." And when heaven whispers, you cannot ignore it. Do not mistake the silence for abandonment. Do not misread the distance as death. God is often most active in the unseen. He works in the pauses. He prepares in the gaps. He refines both you and them on separate journeys, but always moving toward collision at the appointed time. And here is the revelation. If the bond has survived storms, misunderstandings, and long seasons of absence, It is because the assignment is still alive. What was planted was not meant for convenience. It was designed for impact. Heaven does not waste connection. If it lives for purpose. Chosen one. Recognize what the enemy tries to do here. He will use time to breed doubt. He will use silence to plant fear. He will use distance to whisper lies. But remember, God does not need noise to prove himself. He moves in quiet, invisible ways. And when the appointed moment comes, he reconnects what he preserved, not as a repeat of the past, but as a rebirth into purpose, that bond you feel pulsing inside, the one you cannot shake, is not a ghost of the past. It is a seed planted for the future. It has been buried, not destroyed. And in the season of alignment, it will sprout again. Stay with me. Chosen one. Because the next sign will reveal why this connection is not just about companionship, but about pushing you into your divine calling. Chosen one. Lean closer, because this next revelation will shift how you measure every relationship in your life. Sign 4. They push you toward your calling, not away from it. Not everyone who loves you is aligned with your destiny. Some people come to comfort your wounds. Others enter only to distract you. Their presence may feel sweet in the moment, but over time you notice something subtle happening. Your prayer life weakens. Your vision blurs. Your hunger for gold fades. That is the fruit of a connection rooted in the flesh. But when God ordains a bond, the opposite happens. It doesn't numb you. It ignites you. I know because I have lived this. There was someone in my journey whose presence stirred something in me I didn't even know was asleep. Around them, I couldn't stay small. My prayers stretched. My dreams expanded. My courage grew sharper. It wasn't because they pressured me. It was because their very being carried the fragrance of purpose. They reminded me of who I was called to be. Chosen one. When God sends someone, they don't allow you to settle. They will not co-sign your excuses. They will not let you shrink beneath your anointing. Instead, they call forth the leader, the warrior, the visionary within you. They become like a mirror, reflecting not your weaknesses, but your God-given strength. You may not always like it because they stir you out of comfort zones, but the discomfort is sacred. It is heaven's tool for growth. Notice this. Around the wrong person, you feel drained, distracted, diminished. Around the right one, you feel enlarged, even convicted to rise. They don't have to lecture you. Their passion alone reignites yours. Their pursuit of purpose awakens your own. That is not chemistry. That is covenant. Think of iron sharpening iron. Sparks fly, but strength emerges. The one God sends will refine you. They are not there to be your escape. They are there to be your alignment force. Sometimes they may feel less like a romantic dream and more like a divine catalyst. But chosen one, that is the very proof. It is God. Because fairy tales may soothe you, but kingdom partnerships transform you even when distance separates you. Their influence lingers. You hear their voice echo in your decisions. You sense their presence as a standard that keeps pulling you higher. Once awakened by such a connection, you cannot go back to small thinking or shallow prayers. The bar has been raised, and deep down, you know you were designed to live at that higher level. Chosen one. Realize why the warfare around this bond has been so fierce. The enemy does not fear feelings. He fears impact. If two people aligned in purpose ever stand, their union becomes a weapon of mass restoration. That is why you have felt so much resistance, because hell sees the potential even before you do. So do not confuse their challenge as rejection. Do not mistake your discomfort as danger. It is a sign that you are being sharpened, prepared, provoked to walk as the true version of yourself. When God sends a person, they don't make you feel safe, so you can hide. They make you feel sent, so you can rise. And now, chosen one. Stay with me, because the next sign reveals the ultimate key, why your mission and their mission are divinely intertwined, carrying weight far beyond personal happiness, impacting generations to come. Chosen one. You've seen how God confirms his hand through encounters, awakenings, endurance, and refinement. Now we arrive at the ultimate key. Sign 5. Your mission and their mission are intertwined. Heaven never forges connections just to satisfy loneliness. God is strategics. He aligns lives for kingdom impact. Long before you knew their name, before you ever crossed paths, a blueprint was already written in eternity. 2 callings, 2 journeys, 2 assignments that fit together like sacred puzzle pieces. This bond was never about filling a void in your heart. It was always about fulfilling a divine mandate on earth. I know this in my own life. There was someone whose strengths complemented my weaknesses, whose courage covered my hesitation, whose faith balanced my doubt. It wasn't romance that marked it. It was recognition. I realized we were stronger together, not because of emotion, but because our missions overlapped in ways only heaven could design. Chosen one. This is divine interdependence, not dependency born of fear, but alignment birthed from God's agenda. The very areas where you feel weak, they carry strength. The dreams you've been afraid to pursue, they carry courage. The wounds you thought disqualified you, they carry balm, not just for you, but for others who will be touched by your union. This is how heaven multiplies influence. Understand this. When God intertwines 2 missions, he's not thinking about comfort zones. He's thinking about legacies, about generations, about territories being claimed for the kingdom. Together, you don't just form a couple, you form a spiritual force field. Your testimonies merge, your battles converge, your victories multiply. This connection was never meant for mere survival. It was designed for corporate revival, and maybe now you see why this bond feels irreplaceable. No matter who comes along, nothing carries the same weight. It's because this connection wasn't birthed in human desire. It was birthed in eternity's archives. God's handwriting is all over it. And because it carries generational consequence, the process has been meticulous. That's why the timing feels frustrating. That's why it's taken so long. Heaven will not allow this to unfold prematurely. Chosen one. Reflect for a moment. Every delay, every separation, every painful pruning season, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. God refused to unite you while wounds remained unhealed or while your spirits were misaligned. He was refining you both separately, building pillars strong enough to carry the weight of your joint assignment. And here is the mystery. The enemy knew this. That's why the warfare around this connection has been so relentless. Because when 2 chosen ones stand together, their alignment becomes a portal for strategies straight from heaven to manifest on earth. They don't just love each other, they amplify each other's anointing. They cover blind spots. They become heaven's answer to problems not yet seen. Chosen one. When God merges missions, He is thinking beyond personal happiness. He's thinking about the lives you'll impact, the chains you'll break, the nations you'll influence. That is why it feels so sacred, so weighty, so irreplaceable. Because it is not about what is comfortable, it is about what is eternal. Now, as this final sign settles in your spirit, you realize you're not obsessive. You're spiritually aware. You've been sensing heaven's design all along. A kingdom alliance wrapped in divine timing. Stay with me. Chosen one. Because in the conclusion, you will see why God's delays are never denials, and why, when He moves, He does it with glory, precision, and unstoppable purpose. Chosen one. This moment you are standing in is not a coincidence. Everything you've just heard, every sign, every whisper, every revelation was not random information. It was a prophetic unveiling, a reminder that heaven has been orchestrating things behind the scenes from the very beginning, even in your doubts, even in your confusion, even in your silent prayers. The hand of God has been steady. The encounters you thought were chance, the dreams that kept interrupting your nights, the bond that refused to die. All of it was part of a sacred design, a blueprint sketched in eternity before you ever took your first breath. You are not imagining it. You are not weak for feeling it. You are not foolish for discerning it. You are being called deeper. Chosen one. God has not been silent. He has been strategic. He has been preparing you in ways you didn't even recognize. Every delay, every separation, every hidden season was not meant to punish you, but to prepare you. What looked like stillness was divine positioning. What felt like silence was holy recalibration. Heaven was refining you for this exact moment of clarity. The connection you sense is not entertainment for your emotions. It is an ignition for your mission. Heaven does not tether souls to keep them trapped in longing. Heaven brings the right people together to fulfill divine purposes. What you are experiencing in this season is not the closing chapter of your journey. It is the beginning of a heavenly assignment unfolding before your eyes. Through my own walk with God, I discovered that what seemed like delays were never signs of abandonment. The moments of silence I once questioned were actually the times when God was shaping my heart, strengthening my faith, and preparing me to carry the blessings He had already promised. Chosen one. The same is true for you. This is the season where your eyes are opening. This is the confirmation you have been seeking. For so long you have asked God for direction, and now He is responding. The connection that continues to stir something deep within your spirit is not a distraction meant to pull you away. It is a divine invitation leading you toward the purpose Heaven has prepared specifically for your life. Right now, I encourage you to make a declaration of faith. Type these words in the comments. I recognize the signs. That simple act is more than a personal response. It becomes a testimony released into the atmosphere. Your willingness to declare your faith may become the very encouragement another chosen one has been praying to receive. Sometimes one person's obedience becomes the light that helps someone else finally recognize God's direction. Never forget that this moment reaches far beyond your emotions or unanswered questions. What is taking place is part of God's greater plan. Heaven is arranging people, moments, and opportunities with eternal purpose in mind. The impact of your obedience will extend further than you can presently imagine, touching lives and generations yet to come. That is why you must refuse to surrender to fear, uncertainty, or hesitation. God is calling you to stand, to trust, and to move forward with confidence. Chosen one, let these words settle deeply within your heart. When something is established by God, it does not disappear with time. It grows stronger. It becomes clearer. Every piece falls into its proper place according to His perfect timing. And when that appointed moment finally arrives, no obstacle, no opposition, and no delay has the authority to prevent what God has ordained. Stay with me, because what comes next is more than the conclusion of this message. It is an invitation for your spirit to awaken to a new level of prophetic purpose and divine understanding. Chosen one, lift your eyes and open your spirit. What is happening in your life right now is not a coincidence. It is a convergence. Heaven has been aligning pieces you could not see, arranging encounters you could not predict, and guarding a bond you could not destroy. You are standing at the edge of something supernatural, and the weight of this moment is holy. You must understand, this is not simply about a connection between two people. It is about heaven's agenda unfolding on earth. The delays you endured, the battles you fought, the separations that seemed unbearable. None of it was wasted. God was weaving something eternal. Every unanswered prayer was a lesson. Every tear you shed was a seed. And now those seeds are breaking the soil, sprouting into visible evidence of divine timing. Chosen one, hear this with your whole being. The bond heaven protects does not weaken under pressure. It strengthens. What survived distance, silence, and misunderstanding will become unshakable when God says the time is right. And that time is drawing near. You may have felt overlooked. You may have thought the story was finished. But heaven is declaring, this is only the beginning. I know what it feels like to wait without clarity. I know what it feels like to hold on to a whisper when logic tells you to let go. I've walked through seasons where nothing seemed to add up, where silence mocked my faith. Yet, every single time, God proved that His silence was not absence, but strategy. And when He finally moved, it was sudden, undeniable, unstoppable. Chosen one, that is the season you are entering now. This is why your spirit has been restless. This is why no substitute has satisfied you. Because when God has chosen a bond, He does not allow counterfeits to fill the space. He allows only refinement until the real thing can stand in its full glory. That is why you cannot shake this. That is why you are hearing this message today. So what do you do now? You position yourself. You prepare your heart. You keep your oil filled like the wise virgins in the parable. You do not chase. You do not force. You do not manipulate. You align. You trust. You surrender. Because when heaven orchestrates, all you must do is be ready to say yes. Chosen one, let these words engrave themselves upon your soul. If it is from God, it will return. If it is from God, it will align. If it is from God, it will be unstoppable. Do not let fear write your story. Do not let impatience sabotage your destiny. You are closer than you think. The shift is already happening. The unseen has already moved in your favor. And now I urge you, declare it boldly in the comments. Still chosen. Still aligned. This is your stamp of faith. Your agreement with heaven. Each declaration builds an atmosphere where miracles manifest. You are not just typing words. You are releasing prophecy into your own future. Chosen one, your story is not behind you. Your story is rising in front of you. And when God completes it, every delay will make sense. Every tear will testify. Every moment of waiting will be redeemed in glory. Stay with me, because in the final section we will seal this word with prophetic activation that will awaken boldness, clarity, and unstoppable faith within you. Chosen one, as this message draws to a close, I want you to pause and feel the weight of where you are right now. You are not here by accident. Heaven scheduled this moment to awaken you, to realign you, and to remind you that the story of your life is still unfolding under divine authorship. The signs you've heard today are not random. They are confirmations that what you've been sensing, what you've been wrestling with in silence is, in fact, the voice of God guiding you. This is more than emotion. This is more than longing. This is about destiny. The bond that has refused to die is not an accident of memory. It is a seed planted in eternity. Every season of waiting, every stretch of silence, every distance that seemed impossible to cross was not punishment. It was preparation. God has been using all of it to shape you into someone strong enough, healed enough, and faithful enough to carry the weight of what He is about to release. Chosen one, do not despise the waiting. Do not curse the silence. These were tools in God's hand. His silence was strategy. His delay was design. His timing has been precise. And when He moves, it will be swift, undeniable, and unstoppable. That is why you cannot shake this connection, why your spirit refuses to forget. Because heaven has not forgotten. Heaven has preserved it. This connection was never about shallow comfort. It was about eternal consequence. God intertwines missions, not just hearts. When He aligns two chosen ones, He is thinking of legacies, generations, territories that will be reclaimed for His kingdom. That is why this bond feels so heavy. That is why no substitute has ever satisfied you. It carries the fingerprints of eternity. So, what must you do now? Posture yourself in faith. Stand tall in expectancy. Do not shrink into doubt. Lift your voice and declare your agreement with heaven. Write boldly in the comments, I receive alignment. I am still chosen. These are not just words. They are prophetic seeds. Every seed you plant in faith becomes a harvest in due season. Your declaration marks you, and heaven responds. And don't keep this word locked inside. Share it with the person God placed on your heart while you listened. You may be the instrument heaven uses to bring clarity and confirmation into their life. Your obedience could ignite the awakening of another chosen one. Above all, carry this refrain like a banner over your soul. If it is from God, it will return. If it is from God, it will align. If it is from God, it will be unstoppable. Let it echo in you until it becomes unshakable faith. Chosen one. This is your Kairos moment. Your appointed time. The delay is over. The season of preparation has reached its fulfillment. A new chapter is unfolding before you. And heaven is inviting you to enter it with courage and unwavering faith. Move forward with confidence, knowing that you were created for this very moment. The purpose God placed within you is coming alive. And no power on earth or in the spiritual realm can prevent what He has already established. Chosen one. Receive this promise with an open heart. This is not just another ordinary day. This is your appointed moment. The time heaven has prepared specifically for you. The spiritual atmosphere has already shifted in your favor. The connection you have sensed and the signs you have recognized are evidence that God's divine work is already unfolding. You are no longer waiting for favor to arrive. You are stepping directly into the favor that has been prepared for you. You no longer have to search for divine alignment because you are already standing within it. Lift your eyes. Chosen one. Long before your first breath, God designed every detail of your purpose. No delay, no resistance, and no plan of the enemy can overturn what the Lord has spoken over your life. This connection was never meant to awaken temporary emotions. It was sent to awaken your calling, strengthen your purpose, and bring forth the person God always intended you to become. You are entering a season of divine assignment, walking into the destiny prepared for you and the partnerships that heaven has ordained to leave an impact for generations. I speak God's blessing over your life today. May your spiritual vision become clearer. May your faith remain unshakable. May every promise God has hidden within your journey blossom at exactly the right time. Continue forward with gratitude, because opportunities are already appearing and the harvest God promised is drawing near. Remain faithful in this season. Keep your heart prepared and your spirit filled with the presence of God. Stay aligned with His direction and continue to follow where His anointing leads. Chosen one. Confirm this message by declaring in the comments, I recognize the signs. Share these words with someone who may also be waiting for their awakening. Never forget this truth: when something is born from God's purpose, it will return in His timing. It will fall perfectly into place, and nothing will have the power to stop it. Go forward now. Anointed one, walk with boldness, confidence, and peace, knowing that heaven has already prepared the path before you. Your destiny is waiting. Your calling is unfolding, and the God who began this work in you will faithfully bring it to completion. Chosen one. Receive these words with an open heart. Your arrival here was not random, nor was it the result of chance. Heaven has directed your path to this very moment because you are standing before a remarkable turning point. This is a divine encounter, a moment carefully appointed by God, where what has been hidden in the spiritual realm is beginning to appear in your natural life. You are approaching a season of supernatural provision, a breakthrough so unexpected and so powerful that it will transform the course of your journey. As Habakkuk 2:3 declares, the vision awaits its appointed time. Though it seems to linger, wait for it. It will surely come and will not delay. That appointed season is no longer somewhere in the future. It is unfolding now. What God is releasing is more than financial increase. It is His justice, His restoration, and His faithfulness being revealed in your life. This is the harvest of every prayer whispered in secret, every sacrifice offered in obedience, and every decision to remain faithful when compromise seemed easier. Heaven has not forgotten a single act of trust. The balance has shifted, and God's provision is already being set into motion. Chosen one. Raise your expectation and prepare your heart. What the Lord is bringing into your life cannot be stopped by human limitation, and it has been prepared specifically for you. The season of preparation is ending, and the season of reward is drawing near. Listen carefully with your spirit. The years you once believed were filled with disappointment were never evidence that God had abandoned you. Every delay, every closed door, every season of lack that tested your patience was part of his refining process. Those experiences were not designed to defeat you. They were shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and proving that you could be trusted with what was coming next. God's kingdom does not measure success the way the world does. People may have judged your circumstances by what they could see: your finances, your possessions, or your outward achievements, and concluded that you were falling behind. But heaven was keeping a different record altogether. God was counting your faithfulness, your integrity, your perseverance, and the compassion you showed even in difficult seasons. While others focused on temporary appearances, the Lord was preparing an eternal foundation strong enough to sustain the blessings He was about to place into your hands. Every time you endured disappointment without bitterness, every time you remained generous when you had little, every time you chose truth when deception seemed easier, you were being credited in the unseen. Chosen one. I know how it feels. I have carried the shame of lack. I have felt the sting of judgment from those who never walked my path. I have prayed over an empty fridge and smiled at others while my heart was breaking. But through those nights, I discovered something profound. God was never absent. He was auditing my heart. He was recording every tear, every sacrifice, every act of dignity. What the world dismissed as weakness was being written as eternal wealth. You were tested in ordinary moments. A cashier shortchanging you, a friend gossiping behind your back, an opportunity that looked profitable but felt wrong in your gut. These were not coincidences. They were examinations. And every time you resisted the temptation to compromise, you passed. Heaven was watching not through cameras, but through the resonance of your heart. Angels recorded the vibration of your intentions. They noted the compassion in your giving, the grace in your silence, the humility in your smile. Chosen one. You didn't break. You didn't sell your soul for temporary relief. You endured humiliation and fear. Yet you kept faith in something you could not see. That feeling was not delusion. It was divine memory. Your spirit reminding you of the covenant you carried before you came to this earth. Now, the audit is complete. The books are closed. The verdict has been delivered. Passed. And passed with the highest honors. The invisible suppression that made every effort feel heavy is lifting. That weight didn't only block finances, it dimmed your creativity, strained relationships, and silenced joy. But now, you will feel the shift. A lightness in your chest, a clarity in your mind, a peace rising inside as if you have broken through murky waters into fresh air. The frequency of scarcity is deactivated. The ledger is balanced. And heaven does not balance accounts with crumbs. The scale requires abundance, overflow, wealth that cannot be denied. This is not charity. This is justice. It is the settlement earned by your faithfulness, the reward for integrity, the visible return for hidden sacrifice. Chosen one. Prepare yourself. The story of lack is ending. Soon, it will be only testimony, a story you tell to inspire others. Proof that God redeems His stories and rewards. The audit is finished. The transfer is dispatched. And the release is already on its way to you. Chosen one. Let this truth settle deep into your spirit. The greatest currency in heaven is not paper, not gold, not numbers on a screen. It is integrity. And you, anointed one, have been storing up that currency your whole life. Even when you did not realize it, while others took shortcuts, chasing profit through deception. You walked a narrow and costly road. You mined the treasure of your soul instead of exploiting others. You endured trials that would have broken weaker spirits. Betrayals came. Promises were broken, and people left you alone in times of need. But in those lonely nights, you did not trade your honor for survival. You kept faith. You chose honesty. You gave kindness when no one was giving to you. I know this journey because I have lived it. 2. There were seasons when every opportunity fell apart, and I was left with nothing but my word and my faith. It felt like punishment, but later, I realized it was preparation. Every sacrifice became a deposit in a vault that multiplies differently from earthly systems. Every act of faithfulness became a seed with exponential return. Picture that vault not as steel and locks, but as a radiant library of light. Each honorable act glows as a living flame. Every time you forgave when bitterness was easier, a flame appeared. Every time you gave from your lack, the flame burned brighter. The interest in this vault is not measured in years, but in the weight of sacrifice. Chosen one. One moment of truth in the face of pressure is worth more in heaven than 1,000 crooked deals on earth. One act of compassion carries greater value than years of selfish gain. Your unseen balance has grown until it can no longer be hidden. The treasury of integrity has reached fullness, and now heaven is converting that spiritual wealth into physical reality. Already you may feel the signs, a warmth in your hands, the hands that worked tirelessly with little return, a calm rising in your heart as you face bills that once brought fear, a quiet knowing that something has shifted in your atmosphere. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the invisible is about to become visible. Chosen one. This transfer is not only for you, it is a tool to fund the purpose that has waited within you. Dreams, once shelved, are about to rise again, now backed with resources. Visions that seemed too costly will suddenly be possible. You will build, create, and serve. Not from lack, but from abundance. The world will not understand this. They trade in fear, manipulation, and taking. You trade in truth, love, and giving. What they mocked as weakness has become your crown. What they dismissed as foolishness has become your foundation. You are not just about to receive money. You are stepping into authority. You are becoming a force, an anchor for a new economy of truth. The heavens have weighed your integrity and found it priceless. And now, chosen one, that invisible wealth is being converted into visible provision. The vault has opened. The transfer has begun. Chosen one. Before a great storm, the air always shifts. The pressure drops. The animals behave differently. Nature whispers that something powerful is on its way. The same is true for a storm of abundance. Before the physical deposit arrives, heaven begins to release echoes, signs, confirmation, and signals that your transfer is already moving toward you. These echoes are not coincidences. They are divine notifications that the treasury of heaven is opening. Some will come as sound. You may notice a gentle ringing in your ears, a high-pitched tone in quiet moments of prayer or stillness. Do not fear it. You are tuning into the frequency of abundance, the vibration of heaven rearranging itself for your breakthrough. At other times, Conversations about your future may be punctuated by a sudden sound outside. A siren in the distance. A bird crying loudly. At the exact moment, truth is spoken. These are heaven's exclamation points, underscoring that what you heard is real. Other echoes will appear beneath your feet. You may begin to find small amounts of money, a coin on the ground, a bill in an old pocket, a forgotten balance you didn't know you had. At first, it may seem insignificant, but each find is a breadcrumb from the treasury, training your spirit to say, I am ready. I am open to receive. Every time you pick it up with gratitude, you anchor yourself in alignment with greater sums already on the way. Chosen one. Numbers will also speak to you. The code 77 is a key, a signature of heaven's alignment. You will begin to see it everywhere on license plates, receipts, clocks, or even the number of likes on a post. When you see it, know this. It is heaven whispering. Stay the course. The transfer is active. Other sequences may appear. 111 44 888. All variations of the same eternal truth. You are in divine alignment. Stability is manifesting, and infinite provision is flowing. Do not just glance at these numbers. Breathe them in, to feel them vibrate in your chest as confirmation that heaven has you covered. Even creation itself will echo your blessing. A hawk may circle above you. A butterfly may land on your hand. A spider may weave a web in your path. These are not random encounters. They are ancient messengers carrying symbols of vision, transformation, and creation. The entire fabric of nature is leaning in to confirm your rising season. Chosen one. Even your dreams will shift. You may see yourself finding treasure, holding gold coins, or walking through rivers of crystal water. You may dream of strong, beautiful structures that do not yet exist in your life. These are glimpses of the blueprint already being built for you in the unseen. Your spirit is rehearsing wealth in the night so that your body will not reject it in the day. And perhaps the most powerful echo will be what you see in yourself. One morning, you will look into a mirror and notice a change. A light in your eyes that was not there before. The lines of worry softened. A quiet confidence rising where fear once lived. You are beginning to wear your future. You are becoming the person who has already received. These echoes are not to stir hope. They are proof. You are living in prelude to your miracle. Be awake. Be attentive. The treasury is already open, and the echoes are growing louder. Chosen one, hear this with reverence. The wealth that is coming to you is not random. It is not a lottery win. It is not blind luck. What is unfolding is the release of a divine blueprint, a heavenly inheritance written into your destiny long before you took your first breath. This blueprint is not ink on paper. It is alive. It is encoded in your very DNA, humming in your spirit, waiting for the moment when your frequency would rise high enough to match it. That moment is now. You have passed the audit of integrity. You have endured the season of testing. And because of that, your vibration has clicked into alignment with the design heaven prepared. The release protocol has already been activated. You may feel it in your body, a quickening in your blood, a warmth rising from your heart, a sense of purpose and direction that feels both brand new and strangely familiar. This is not imagination. It is remembrance. Every cell in your body is awakening to the truth of who you were created to be. Heaven is obligated to build the reality that this blueprint describes because it was written before time and sealed by divine promise. Chosen one. The delivery will not arrive in ways that feel alien or unearned. It will not come to confuse you or overwhelm you. It will feel like destiny, like a puzzle piece sliding perfectly into place. Forgotten dreams will rise again. That business idea you abandoned years ago because you lacked resources will suddenly return to your mind, this time with doors opening and funding appearing effortlessly. What was once blocked will now flow like water. For some, abundance will manifest through restitution. A legal settlement long delayed may suddenly be resolved. An inheritance you never expected could arrive. A forgotten investment may skyrocket. Even creative works you produced years ago, a song, a book, a project, may resurface and bring an unexpected windfall. These are not accidents. They are scheduled releases, preset checkpoints along your journey where heaven's supply intersects with your timeline. Even stubborn problems will dissolve. A health struggle may vanish. A broken relationship may suddenly find peace. Obstacles that serve their purpose as teachers will now move aside, clearing the way for your inheritance. The blueprint demands it. Nothing can stand in the path of what has already been written. The world will not understand this. They will try to explain your sudden provision with logic, charts, and analysis. But the truth is beyond their systems. The cause is not earthly effort. It is spiritual alignment. You have become a vibrational match for abundance. And by divine law, abundance must now locate you, chosen one. This will also come through people and opportunities that seem to fall from the sky. An unexpected connection, an invitation that feels too good to be true. A door opening into a world you thought was closed forever. Your skeptical mind will want to dismiss it, but your spirit will know. Trust that inner calm, that deep resonance in your chest. That is heaven whispering. This is the path. This blueprint is your inheritance. It weaves together your pain, your hope, your faith, and your endurance into a tapestry only you can carry. The money is not the miracle. It is the ink making the invisible visible. Your only task is to say yes. Be ready to receive what is already yours. The blueprint has awakened. The release has begun. Chosen one. Understand this. Every transfer of abundance comes with a final test. As heaven draws wealth, opportunity, and influence into your life, the energy of that blessing creates a magnetic field. That field not only pulls resources toward you, it stirs resistance in people around you. These people are not always enemies. Often, they are those closest to you. They appear as guardians of the gate, standing at the threshold between your old reality and your new inheritance. These guardians are not conscious of their role. They are souls whose own wounds, fears, and limitations are triggered by the rising light within you. Their reactions may seem personal, but in truth, they are spiritual tests. Heaven is asking, will you choose your destiny over their doubt? Will you guard your promise even when others cannot see it? The first guardian is the doubter. This may be a parent, sibling, or lifelong friend. You will share good news, a new opportunity, an open door, and their immediate response will be skepticism. Be careful. Don't get your hopes up. That sounds too good to be true. They love you. but their love is bound by fear. To pass this test, you must not argue. You must hold your certainty in silence. Smile. Stand firm. And let your faith speak louder than their caution. The second guardian is the jealous one. While you struggled, they felt secure, even superior. But as your light shines brighter, their insecurities are exposed. They may make subtle jabs or minimize your success. It must be nice. They'll say with resentment, to pass this gate, you must show compassion without shrinking. Do not dim your radiance to make them comfortable. Your rise is not their loss. It is an invitation for them to grow. Another guardian is the sudden admirer. This is the person who ignored you during your wilderness, but now appears when the fragrance of success surrounds you. They shower you with attention, but their interest is not in your journey. It is in your light. To pass this test, you must discern wisely, show grace, but protect your energy. Do not invest deeply in those who value your destination, but dishonored your process. The most dangerous guardian is the saboteur. This one feels threatened at a soul-deep level by your coming breakthrough. Your success challenges their worldview, that life is only struggle. They may give destructive advice disguised as help, create conflict to distract you, or try to undermine your opportunities. To pass this gate, you may need distance, and in some cases, disconnection. Cutting the cord is not cruelty. It is self-preservation. It is you declaring, my destiny matters more than this toxic bond. Chosen one. These guardians are not obstacles to hate. They are confirmations that you are near the threshold of breakthrough. Their resistance is evidence that you are standing at the gate of abundance. Do not fight them in anger. Recognize their role. Bless them, and walk past them with unshakable faith. The gate is in front of you. The question is not whether the transfer is coming. It is whether you will step through without surrendering your integrity or shrinking your light. Pass these guardians with grace, and the inheritance waiting on the other side will be undeniable. Chosen one. The gate is open. The only task left is to walk through. Chosen one. The moment will come quietly. It will not arrive with trumpets or bright lights. It will slip into your life like a whisper, disguised in ordinary circumstances. You may be checking your bank account, opening a letter, or answering a phone call, and suddenly you will see it. A number so large, so unexpected, that your mind will hesitate to believe it is real. There will come a moment when everything around you seems to stand still. The distractions of the world will fade into silence, and deep within your spirit you will recognize that something has shifted. You will know that God's promise has arrived. What fills your heart in that moment will be far greater than excitement. It will be a profound awakening that changes the way you see yourself and your future forever. The first thing to disappear will be the mindset of lack that has held you captive for so long. Every restless night, every anxious thought over whether there would be enough, every burden carried in silence will suddenly lose its grip. The walls of scarcity that once surrounded your life will crumble, unable to withstand the power of God's provision. You may find yourself overwhelmed with emotion. Your hands may tremble, your breath may pause, and tears may begin to flow. That is not weakness. It is the release of years of pressure as your spirit finally experiences freedom. Another transformation will take place within you. The voice of self-doubt that has followed you through countless seasons will no longer have authority. The whispers that told you that you were unworthy, incapable, or destined to fail will be silenced by the undeniable evidence of God's faithfulness. The accusations that once seemed convincing will lose all their power, because heaven's provision will speak louder than every lie you ever believed. What will rise in its place is not pride but quiet confidence, rooted in God's truth. You will know beyond any doubt that He saw every sacrifice you made, remembered every tear you shed, and honored every decision to remain faithful when no one else was watching. Chosen one. The tears you cry in that moment will not come from sorrow. They will be tears of healing, gratitude, and complete release. You will grieve for the version of yourself that carried burdens no one understood. And you may even think of those who came before you, who lived through hardship without seeing the breakthrough you are now experiencing. As you stand in God's freedom, it will feel as though generations of heaviness are being lifted away. Old patterns will lose their hold. Inherited struggles will be broken, and your heart will breathe with a peace you have never known before. In that sacred moment, you will recognize that God's restoration is reaching far beyond your own life, creating a legacy of hope that will continue for generations to come. You have become the breaker, the one chosen to carry the lineage into freedom. Finally, your perception of the world will shatter. You will see the system of survival for what it truly is. A construct, a game designed to keep souls in fear. For the first time, you will stand outside of it. Colors will seem brighter. The air will taste sweeter. Your environment may look unchanged, but your spirit will know everything has shifted. You will no longer live as a prisoner of lack. You will stand as a citizen of abundance, and in that holy silence after the shattering, responsibility will rest upon you, not as a burden, but as a mantle. The money is not just money, it is a key. It has unlocked the cage, and now heaven asks you to step fully into purpose. You have been funded. You have been equipped. The real work begins now. Chosen one, prepare yourself. The deposit is near, and when it arrives, it will not only change your account, it will change you. Chosen one. When the transfer lands, you may expect a booming voice from the sky, a set of step-by-step orders, or even a sign carved in stone. But that is not how heaven works. The next phase will not arrive as thunder. It will not appear as a document delivered to your door. The instructions for what comes after the deposit are already inside of you. They were etched into your soul before time began, waiting for the resources to awaken them. The very first command is simple, but it will feel counterintuitive. Be still. In the days and weeks following your breakthrough, the temptation will rise to prove something to yourself or others. You will want to spend, to announce, to make grand moves quickly. But heaven whispers, wait. The money was not given to soothe insecurity or to silence critics. It was given to establish legacy. This requires stillness, reflection, and recalibration. This period is a sacred cocoon where your mind, body, and spirit adjust to the new frequency of abundance. In that stillness, the true instructions will emerge. They will not come as frantic ideas or anxious urges. They will surface as calm but undeniable knowings, a steady pull towards something that feels holy. Even if it looks unusual, the ego will always shout, "Do it now. Prove them wrong." But spirit will whisper, "Move with purpose. Build what lasts." You may suddenly feel called to secure a piece of land, not for exploitation, but for preservation. or a vision for a project, business, or ministry may rise again. One you once buried because resources were missing. This time, doors will open, connections will appear, funding will be ready. You may even sense a burden to support a cause that seems obscure to others, but burns in your soul with clarity. These are not whims. They are divine assignments. The transfer is not for vanity. It is for kingdom purpose. Chosen one. I must confess, I have walked through this myself. When my own breakthrough first came, my instinct was to move fast, to use the blessing as proof that I had finally made it. But I learned that rushing scatters the seed. Only when I sat in silence, letting the weight of provision sink in, did I hear the whispers of direction. And those whispers led me to actions that multiplied blessing beyond anything my pride would have produced. You will soon discover how heaven's provision bends reality itself. When you act on a divine impulse, synchronicities will unfold. The right people will enter your life at the perfect time. Resources will align with breathtaking precision. Obstacles that once blocked you will melt away. You will no longer be straining against the current. You will move as the current itself. Understand this. The world will not comprehend your choices. They will say you are foolish for investing in gardens instead of mansions, for funding healing instead of flaunting wealth. They will not understand why you chose purpose over performance, but you were never meant to follow their pattern. You are here to establish heavens. You are here to anchor a new economy that flows from love, service, and eternal truth. Chosen one. The silent instructions are stirring even now. Do not dismiss them as imagination. They are the keys to your next chapter. The map of your destiny. The transfer has funded you, but the Spirit will guide you. Be still. Listen deeply. And when the whisper comes, obey without hesitation. That obedience will unlock the fullness of your inheritance. Chosen one. You have endured the audit, walked through the blueprint, received the transfer, and leaned into the silent instructions. Now you stand at the edge of culmination, the place where everything converges. This is the threshold where blessing and responsibility collide, where abundance becomes purpose, and where destiny commissions you to act. The truth is this: the transfer was never designed to end with you. You are not called to be a reservoir hoarding provision for fear of loss. You are called to be a river carrying heaven's supply to the places and people appointed in your path. What flows into your life must flow through your life. That is why you were tested in scarcity, so that when abundance arrived, you would not cling to it with fear or squander it on vanity. You would channel it wisely, with faith and with vision. Chosen one. This commissioning is not only about money, it is about authority. You have become a vessel of a higher economy. An economy grounded not in greed, manipulation, or exploitation, but in truth, generosity, and love. Where the world uses wealth to dominate, you will use it to liberate. Where others build walls, you will build bridges. Where many chase symbols of status, you will create structures of purpose. I know the weight of this mantle. When my own breakthrough came, joy and responsibility met me in the same breath. Yes, lack was broken, but I also realized that every choice now carried greater impact. Money has energy. It bends circumstances. It multiplies opportunities. It reshapes possibilities. And when it rests in the hands of the faithful, it is not just currency. It becomes a tool of transformation. You will discover this for yourself. The resources in your possession are not for your ego. They are for your assignment. Heaven is asking you now, what will you build? Who will you lift? Where will you shine the light? These are not questions meant to intimidate you. They are invitations. Invitations to align your life with eternal vision. Invitations to plant seeds of legacy that will outlive you. Invitations to finally step into the fullness of your calling as steward, builder, restorer, and light-bearer. Do not be surprised if resistance reappears. Doubters may question, jealous hearts may whisper, saboteurs may stir confusion. But you will notice something has shifted. What once broke you will no longer shake you. You will walk in quiet confidence, clothed in divine backing. The same God who funded your breakthrough will defend your assignment. No gate will stand closed. No barrier will endure. Chosen one, this is your moment to dream again. Not small dreams of survival, but great dreams of transformation. Dream of businesses that bless, of projects that heal, and of structures that stand for generations. Dream of lifting communities, restoring families, awakening nations. Dream so boldly that others, watching your fruit, will believe their own breakthrough is possible. Your life will become a testimony. Your abundance will be a signal that heaven still moves on earth. This is the culmination. This is the commissioning. You have been tested and proven. You have been refined and equipped. And now heaven calls you to rise. Chosen one. The gate is open. The resources are in your hands. And the world is waiting for the light only you can carry. Step forward. Your new season begins today. Chosen one. Receive these words with faith and humility. You are not here by chance. And this moment was never accidental. Heaven has directed your steps because you have arrived at the time God prepared long before you were born. What He has promised is no longer something to anticipate from afar. His work is already unfolding. The balance has been restored. His purpose has been established, and the blessings assigned to your life are already on their way. Anointed one, you are standing in your appointed season. The sacred moment where God's promises meet His purpose for your life. Every obstacle you faced, every delay you endured, and every season that felt empty served a greater purpose. None of it was wasted. Each experience was shaping your character and proving that you were ready to carry the responsibility of what God was preparing to entrust to you. What once appeared to be loss was actually the beginning of the legacy God was building through your life. Now heaven is declaring that the waiting season is coming to an end. As you continue forward, remain steadfast in your faith. Refuse to let doubt cloud your vision or fear determine your next step. Stay attentive to the gentle leading of the Holy Spirit and the quiet direction He has already placed within your heart. Let thankfulness become your daily posture, because a grateful heart creates room for even greater blessings. Walk with confidence, not as someone searching for acceptance, but as someone whom God has already called and commissioned. Chosen one. Favor is surrounding you. Provision is increasing. Doors of opportunity are opening according to God's perfect timing. Your hands have been prepared to build, to encourage, to restore, and to become a blessing in the lives of many. You are entering a season of abundance that will extend far beyond your own story and bring hope to everyone your life touches. If these words speak to your spirit, express your faith by writing 777 inches the comments. Share this message so others can recognize the season God is calling them into as well. Go forward with peace and confidence. Chosen one, heaven has already set your breakthrough in motion, and the path before you has been prepared. Now is the time to walk boldly into the future God has designed for you.